The drama surrounding Yandy Smith and her husband M is back again, and it's more intense than ever. If you've been keeping up with the Love and Hip Hop series, you know that Yandy and M's relationship has been filled with countless scandals, public embarrassments, and drama that never seems to end. Now, it looks like things have taken yet another shocking turn. Recently, an episode aired where cast member Jessica White revealed that M had allegedly been sliding into her niece's DMs, adding yet another layer to the ongoing mess that is their relationship. And in typical Yandy fashion, the situation spiraled even further when she stepped in to fix things, causing a whole new round of controversy. The scene that went viral starts with Jessica telling Yandy about the DM exchange between M and her niece, a revelation that causes Yandy to react in a way that no one expected. Instead of showing anger or disbelief, Yandy calmly responds that it was actually her, Yandy, who had been messaging the niece, not M. Now, let's pause for a second because this twist is more than just shocking, it's also a bit baffling. Instead of confronting her husband, Yandy tries to take control of the narrative by claiming the DMs were hers all along. This moment was full of confusion, with Jessica not quite believing what she was hearing. She was clearly distraught, but chose not to call Yandy out, instead stating that she couldn't do so because she felt empathy for Yandy's hurt. What followed was another heated exchange, where Yandy insisted that she had to protect her marriage, and that this was her attempt to get ahead of the situation before it turned into a bigger mess. The tension in the air was thick, and the reactions were split. On one side, you had Yandy's attempt to salvage her marriage, and on the other, Jessica and viewers were left wondering why Yandy had taken such a strange approach to what seemed like a betrayal. Was Yandy genuinely trying to save face, or was she just defending a man who repeatedly caused her public humiliation? As the episode went on, it became even clearer that this situation wasn't just about a simple misunderstanding or a mix-up of who was texting whom. It was a reflection of the larger issues in Yandy and M's relationship, which is built on a foundation of trust, loyalty, and an unspoken understanding that they will stick together, no matter the chaos around them. The emotional exchange that followed only served to highlight the extreme level of dysfunction that has become all too familiar to viewers of Love and Hip Hop. When Yandy finally brought M into the conversation, it was clear that the situation had reached a boiling point. Yandy had already tried to cover up the alleged affair by claiming she was the one in contact with Jessica's niece, but now M was standing by her side, ready to defend his actions and put a stop to any further public embarrassment. As Yandy recounted what had happened, M seemed unfazed and distant, adding his own remarks that only intensified the already tense atmosphere. But what really caught everyone's attention was the way M tried to downplay the entire situation, focusing more on the fact that people were gossiping about him and Yandy rather than addressing the core issue, his apparent unfaithfulness. In his defense, M argued that people were constantly looking for a reason to break his family apart. The pressure was mounting, and he seemed to be getting frustrated with the ongoing rumors. This attitude, while familiar, did little to ease the tension, and it only made things worse. The fact that M could not acknowledge the gravity of the situation was another indication that their relationship might be beyond repair. While this drama was unfolding, fans and castmates alike couldn't help but wonder, why does Yandy keep sticking by M? Is it because she truly believes in their marriage, or is it because she's afraid of the consequences if she walks away? Yandy's loyalty to her husband is well documented, but it's clear that this relationship is built on a series of compromises, some of which are starting to look more like enabling rather than love. There was a moment in the episode where Yandy's frustration with the situation bubbled to the surface, and she told M that he needed to take responsibility for the situation. Yet, despite her apparent awareness of the damage his actions had caused, she still seemed to be more concerned with defending him in front of everyone than actually confronting the issues at hand. At one point, she even apologized to M for the accusations, putting the blame on Jessica for starting the drama. This shift in narrative left viewers wondering if Yandy was more focused on protecting her own pride and her public image than on dealing with the actual betrayal. As if things couldn't get more complicated, the behind-the-scenes drama continued to intensify. Social media exploded with reactions to Yandy's bizarre handling of the situation, and fans couldn't help but feel for Jessica, who had been placed in the middle of this scandal. Despite the fact that Jessica was only trying to bring the issue to light, she was immediately dismissed by Yandy, who insisted that she had everything under control. This moment underscored the toxic cycle that keeps repeating itself in their relationship: betrayal, denial, and the attempt to save face for the sake of appearances. On top of that, rumors started swirling that Yandy and M's marriage was not the only thing at stake here. Some viewers began speculating that Yandy's handling of the situation wasn't just about loyalty to M, but about trying to protect her brand. As a reality star, Yandy has always been aware of the need to maintain a certain public image. Defending M in the public eye, she might have been trying to protect her own career and social media following. After all, the last thing anyone in the public eye wants is to be seen as the one who couldn't hold their marriage together. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, the question that everyone seemed to be asking was whether M truly deserved Yandy's loyalty. He had cheated before, been caught up in countless scandals, and yet Yandy continued to stand by his side. Was this simply a case of love or loyalty gone too far, or was it about something deeper? After all, the couple shares children, a business, and years of history together. Could it be that Yandy was simply unwilling to walk away from everything they had built? No matter the causes the episode concluded, things only got messier. Yandy, in her attempt to shield herself from further humiliation, tried to manipulate the situation, deflecting blame and acting as though she was the one who had everything under control. But her attempts to protect her marriage only made her seem more desperate to salvage what was left of their relationship. And the more she defended M, the more it became clear that she was simply trying to bury the truth. To make matters worse, fans began questioning why Yandy was even putting herself through this. The drama, the lies, the hurt, it all seemed like a never-ending cycle. But instead of walking away, Yandy remained committed to defending M, much to the dismay of those who were watching from the sidelines. Ultimately, this episode served as a powerful reminder of how toxic relationships can become when loyalty is taken to the extreme. Yandy, despite knowing the truth, chose to defend her husband and salvage her marriage, even when it seemed like it was no longer worth saving. And M, who had repeatedly betrayed her trust, continued to manipulate the situation to make himself seem like the victim. What was supposed to be a conversation about an alleged affair turned into yet another round of denial, blame shifting, and emotional manipulation. The end. The episode left fans with more questions than answers. Was this the final straw for Yandy and M, or is this just another chapter in their never-ending saga of drama and dysfunction? As always, love and hip-hop has kept fans on the edge of their seats, waiting for the next shocking revelation. And if this latest episode is any indication, it's safe to say that the drama is far from over. As the drama unfolds, the question that keeps lingering in the air is whether this time will be different for Yandy and M. Will Yandy finally wake up and realize that her loyalty to a man who repeatedly betrays her trust is doing more harm than good? Or will she continue to defend him no matter the cost, clinging to the hope that things will eventually change? It's hard to say. What we do know for sure is that their relationship, as it stands, is built on shaky ground. Time and time again, Yandy has chosen to overlook M's actions in favor of maintaining a public image of a perfect family. But the cracks in that image are starting to show, and it's becoming more and more difficult for her to maintain the facade. The situation is not only tearing apart their marriage, but also affecting their public perception. Fans have long been divided on whether Yandy should stay with M or walk away for her own sanity. Some feel that she's made her bed and now must lie in it, while others sympathize with her struggle, believing that love can sometimes blind us to the truth. But with each new scandal, Yandy's credibility as a reality TV star and a family woman becomes more and more questionable. M, on the other hand, is no stranger to controversy. He has managed to spin the narrative to make himself appear as the victim in many situations, but it's getting harder to keep that act up. While Yandy may defend him in public, the more his actions come to light, the more it seems like he's using his wife as a shield to avoid facing the consequences of his own decisions. What many fans are wondering now is whether M will ever truly take responsibility for his actions, or if he will continue to manipulate the narrative to his benefit. In some ways, M's approach to the whole situation is predictable. He's always managed to turn the tables and avoid taking full accountability. The question is, will this time be different? Will the constant lies and betrayal eventually catch up to him, or will Yandy's loyalty continue to cloud her judgment? The relationship is on the edge, and it's clear that something has to give. Jessica White's role in the most recent episode added an interesting layer to the situation. While Yandy was quick to dismiss her claims and attempt to protect her marriage, Jessica wasn't afraid to call things out. She exposed the messiness that continues to surround M and Yandy's relationship, showing that no one is exempt from the chaos. But the more Yandy tried to cover things up, the more evident it became that the truth was out, and people weren't going to let it slide. What's also troubling is the way Yandy handled the situation with Jessica. Instead of addressing the core issue, that M may have been unfaithful yet again, Yandy shifted the conversation to try and control the narrative. This kind of manipulation is something we've seen time and time again on reality TV, where the people involved are more concerned with their image than with the truth. It's disheartening, especially when it comes to relationships that have already been marred by so much pain and betrayal. It's clear that Yandy is trying to hold everything together, but in doing so, she's only exacerbating the problem. The pressure of maintaining the illusion of a perfect family is taking its toll, and it seems like both Yandy and Em are at their breaking points. The question now is how long Yandy can keep up this act before the truth comes crashing down. For fans, watching from the sidelines, the drama surrounding Yandy and Em's marriage is a painful reminder of the toxic dynamics that can exist in relationships. Whether it's because of the pressure of fame or a deep-seated fear of letting go, some people are willing to sacrifice their happiness and well-being for the sake of keeping up appearances. In the case of Yandy and Em, it's clear that they've been stuck in this cycle for far too long. The question now is whether they will continue to play this game or if one of them will finally decide to break free. This ongoing saga shows us just how complicated relationships can be, especially when there's a constant public spotlight on them. Yandy's decision to stick by Em, despite his repeated betrayals, is a choice that many viewers can't fully understand. But the reality is, when you're invested in someone for so long, it can be hard to walk away, even when it's clear that they're not good for you. As the episode ended, it became even clearer that the story isn't over. There's more to come, and if history is any indication, Yandy and Em's relationship will continue to be a central storyline for the show. Whether they stay together or part ways, one thing is certain: their drama isn't going away anytime soon. The fallout from this latest scandal will have lasting consequences for both of them, and we'll be watching closely to see how things unfold. For now, fans are left wondering if Yandy will ever break free from the toxic cycle, or if she'll continue to defend a man who has repeatedly let her down. One thing is clear: Yandy deserves better, and it's time for her to put herself first, rather than trying to fix a relationship that has been broken for far too long. As this chapter of their saga closes, we can only wait and see how the drama continues to play out. With Em and Yandy's future uncertain and the ever-present tension hanging in the air, the next few episodes will likely provide even more explosive revelations. Will Yandy find the strength to let go of her relationship with Em, or will she continue to stand by him no matter the cost? Only time will tell.